Now, if you're brand new to SMMA, this video is tailored towards you. There were so many things that I've done in my past which caused me to lose dozens of hours of work, dozens of hours of time, dozens of hours of mistakes, and just so much error and trial. And there are ways that you can shortcut your success, your way to success. And one of them is to learn from the mistakes of others. And here I am. One of those mistakes is wasting time with unqualified prospects on setting calls and sales calls. Now, as you kind of progress, you're gonna start to see through the fog and see through people, see what prospects are actually serious about solving their problems if they have problems. Because again, you wanna establish two things on the setting call and quite honestly, on the sales calls too. I mean, more complex, but A, do they have problems? And B, do they want to solve those problems themselves? You're gonna be amazed how many people don't actually want to solve problems themselves for whatever reason. That's just humans are for the most part. Not every single one you can help, right? You could bring a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. And wasting time is going to cause you in the beginning of your journey a lot of pain, but that's okay because it's not going to be easy. And so long you stick to the path, so long you kind of stick to one thing for long enough, it's going to work out because skills compounds. You're going to get incredibly good at sales. You're going to get incredibly good at media buying, and everything is just going to compound on its own. You're going to become a leader. You're going to know how to put together a team, how to build, how to sell, right? Like Novel said, if you know how to build and if you know how to sell, nothing can stop you. And that's what actually matters at the end of the day. The money, guys, it comes after everything that you do. The value that you give, the value that you provide to the marketplace. The money is just an extension of what you can bring. People putting, for example, people putting rockets on Mars. Elon Musk, he's getting paid in proportion to the complexity of the problem that he's solving. It just makes sense. Now, the money is an extension of what you bring to the marketplace. So, in the beginning of your journey, stop wasting time on sales calls or setting calls with unqualified prospects. You will have to go through this in order to see what a good prospect is. I can tell you what it is, but you need to understand for yourself how to kind of scope it out, how to figure it out on the sales calls or on the setting call. And you could hear it in the voice of others too. And as you kind of progress, these skills are what actually matter as opposed to the money coming in. That's it. And you have to develop high valuable skills which are going to take you long term in this game. Now, a lot of people give up way too quick. And in the beginning of my journey, being completely honest, I made $1.3 or $4,000, 1.3 grand in 3 months. And I know some people that didn't make money for 6 months or a year. And I'm out here complaining about 3 months, but 3 months, I barely made, $1,500, and that wasn't enough to be like, yo, SMMA is sick. Let's keep going. This is so freaking cool. On to the next sales call, on to the next setting call. No, that sucked. But again, like I said in the beginning, if you stick to one thing for long enough, it's gonna work out if you actually put the work in. Not just say you're putting the work in, or not just, saying you're working, but you're just scrolling through Reels or Instagram while your other browser has like Go High Level opens, right? So you need to actually be doing the work with right intentions, with pure focus and discipline or consistency. Discipline and consistency are two different things. That's a topic for another day, but you need consistency, maybe not so much discipline. So, and I want to talk to you guys all about a really important thing, and for you specifically with wherever you are in your journey, but more applicable to those in the beginning, is assuming the identity of the person you want to become. Read Russell Brunson's Expert Secrets. There are other books that kind of help you adapt that mindset, kind of helped you with manifestation, law of attraction, kind of help you with all that. But Russell Brunson in the marketing space, and he spoke about adapting the identity of the person you want to become. But first, you need to establish who that person is. I see too many people in business or entrepreneurship or whatever endeavor they are in life, maybe business aside, and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And I'm like, okay, cool, what's your plan? And the mindset part isn't there. There is no action plan. And in the beginning of your journey, mindset, and quite honestly, for me and for those that have been in it for a long time, it's still a huge part. But in the beginning, the mindset part's going to be like 80-70% of the battle, no joke. And that starts with adapting the identity of your person. Now, it's going to be a little bit more difficult because you're not going to have the skills to show for or the conviction in your voice during sales calls, because sales is a game of energy transfer. And that energy transfer is conviction and high energy and all of that fun jazz. But you need to establish the identity of that person. How much money per month is that person making? Where is that person living? How are their relations with their family, with their friends, with their spouse? How are they treated by others? How are they respected by others? And you just need to get into the nuts and the bolts of who that person is. And then once you establish who that person is, you simply be. You be that person. And as cliche as it might sound, it works. And it's true. And you'll hear stories from some amazing, successful people from all over the world and what they've built. And the mindset and being that person, even though they weren't, was a massive factor. And waiting for reality to catch up. And you have to be so delusional in what you're doing that it's scary to others. And you're not quite there. You're not quite right. And you'll talk to some of these delusional people who are 7-8-figure entrepreneurs, and it's like they've lost touch with the reality. And it's so amazing and frightening at the same time, because you know it's capable, but that's what it takes. And yes, again, it's going to suck in the beginning of your journey, but you need to be that person now. And what that means is stop wasting time. Stop taking shit from prospects. Don't let them dictate the frame of the call, because you're a professional at what you do and you've been doing this. Even though it's been 2 weeks of doing it, you want to be the person who's been doing it for a few years. Don't let clients get away with anything, because if you give someone an inch, they're going to take a yard. Now, of course, guys, there are exceptions to the rule, but I'm speaking generally right now. If you've been working with someone for 6 months, sure, or 6 months, sure, kind of take it easy and chill with the invoice or whatever it is with them. But you need to be that person now. And you're only going to find out who that person is through yourself. You can't ask people who that person is. You can't ask people what their advice is on what you should do. It's your life. You need to figure this out. And I also see another fatal mistake, and that's, yeah, I'm in it for the money. Or, yeah, I want to do something because it sounds cool. Or, yeah, I don't know, one of my friends told me about this business model, I'm going to give it a try. Now, of course, that can work. But you're going to run stale, and you're going to fatigue out, because it has to come from within. Change has to come from within. You can bring a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. You can do only so much for people, and you can give them so much information, but it needs to come from within. Why are they changing? Why are they the way they want to be? And it's not easy. Not everybody is going to have this, and it's tough. I get it. But in the beginning of your journey, adopt the identity of the person you want to become. Figure out who that person is. For me, I don't know, spend time in nature. What Luke Belmar said, he's like, when was the last time you brainstormed, notepad? When he was, that was hysterical. But you got to study, bro. So what's it called? You need to figure out who that person is, and only you're going to figure out who that person is. Create a vision sheet, a vision board. I have one, and I continuously add to it. I continuously check things off, which is amazing. And I continuously am grateful for the life that I'm living. And I'm here in Mexico, Tulum, Mexico, for close to 2 months. And that's pretty much it, guys. Now, this video is tailored to those more so beginning out, and it's not going to be easy. No one said it will be. But if you stick with something for long enough with pure focus, intention, and consistency, you're going to win. There is no losing. All right, peace.